So today, you guys are going to take your assessment for percents. So I want to review these questions that we did on Friday or on Tuesday. So when we are talking about percent, we always have the original value as 100%. And then we've talked about words that tell us an increase, more, greater, higher, grow. And then tax, remember that's like at a restaurant or at a store, you pay tax on what you buy. A tip, that's like at a restaurant when you tip the waiter or the waitress, a percentage of the food bill. And then a markup, obviously, is a markup on whatever the price is. Then decrease words, less, fewer, lower, or shrink. And then a sale or discount is a decrease percent. And then a markdown is the same thing. Then when we solve percent problems, we're always going to make sure that we use this proportion. Percent over 100 equals part over whole, is over of, or new over original. Make sure on your assessment, on the paper that you're doing your work on, at the top of that paper, write this down. On every single problem, write this down for whichever one you need. That way you won't mess up on where to put your numbers. So let's just review these basic problems. You will have some of these on your assessment. And I'm going to go ahead and write my percent over 100. And looking at these problems, I realize I'm going to use is over of. All right? So what number is 40% of 50? I'm always going to make sure I circle the important things. What number is 40% of 50? All right, so when I write this down, and I might write to the side percent over 100 and is over of. That way I remember where to put things. Well, I'm looking for my percent. I know that it is 40% over 100. What number is? I don't know the is. And then of 50, I know of 50. So now I'm going to cross multiply. Remember, multiply numbers that are across from each other and then divide by the number that is left. So you should get 20 as your answer. 20 is 40% of 50. And remember to check your work for these assessments. When you're doing this, you should be able to cross multiply and get the same number. So 40 times 100 should give me 2,000. And then 100 times 20. Yeah, that's not right. Oh, I'm sorry. 140 times 50. I knew something wasn't right. 40 times 50 should give me 2,000. And 100 times 20 should give me 2,000. So I know that my answer is correct because both cross multiplying sides give me the same answer. So let's quickly do these other two examples. 3 is what percent of 36? So 3 is, okay, that tells me that's my is. That goes over here. What percent? Well, that tells me I don't know my percent of 36. Of goes on the bottom. 100 times 3 is 300. Divide by 36. And you should get 8.33333 repeating, but we're going to round to 2 decimal places. 8.33. Now remember, as you are doing these problems, make sure that you set up your proportion every single time on your work page, because even if you don't do your calculations correctly, if you set it up correctly, I can give you some credit. So 15 is 60% of what number? 15 is, I know is goes on the top over here. 60% symbol, 60 goes over 100. Of what number? I don't know that number, so I'm going to put an X. 100 times 15 is 1,500. Divide that by 60, and we should get 25. Again, I could check my work with this. 60 over 100 equals 15 over 25. Cross multiply, and we should get 1,500 for both. Don't forget, you can always figure out if you're going to be right or wrong on those. So another one that's similar, but we have to pay attention to it to figure out where to put our numbers. The hockey team won 63 out of the 84 games it played this year. What percent of the games did the team win? So they won 63 out of the 84. So let's think. This might be a part-whole question. Okay, we don't know the percent. That's the question. So we're going to put an X over 100. And then the part, that would be how many they won, because that wasn't the entire amount that they played. They played 84. So when we cross multiply, we get 6,300. Divide that by 84, and we should get 75. Again, cross multiply, check your answer. Jamal's lunch cost $8.95 plus 6.5% sales tax. What is the total cost of Jamal's lunch, including sales tax? So we want the total cost. It cost $8.95, and then the percent would be 6.5. So I'm going to use percent over 100 equals part over whole. So I know the percent, 6.5. I know that the part is the 6.5%, but I don't know it in a dollar value. And the whole amount of his lunch is $8.95. When we multiply, we get 58.175. Then we divide by 100 to get 0.58 when I round it to dollar decimal places, 2 decimal places. Now, 0.58 is not our answer because we need to know the total. So our $8.95 for the food plus 58 cents for the tax, we get $9.53. So be sure when you're asking or when you see questions that you add at the end. Don't just pick the answer that looks like it could be there. Similar question, how much is a 15% tip on a $35 bill? This time it just wants to know what the tip is. So we know 15% over 100. The total bill is 35, and we want to know that 15% in dollar amount. 15 times 35 gives us 525. Divide that by 100, and we get $5.25. And then we have a question about finding the original. So Miss Hathaway ate 40% more candy this Halloween than last Halloween. If I ate 21 pieces this year, how much did I eat last year? So this is a new original question. Percent over 100 equals new over original. This year is my new. Last year is my original. Okay? So that's important. So we know 40% more, and we know 21 pieces this year. So let's check this out. This year, I ate 21 pieces. We don't know how many I ate last year. We know 100%. Now, a lot of us are very quick to put 40 over 100. But remember, this 40 is not out of 21%. 40 is 40% more than whatever our x is. So this goes back to when we added those percents for the new and original. So we have to say 100 plus 40 to get our new percent, which is 140%. So this is our new percent, our new year amount of candy, or this year's amount of candy. So cross multiply, 100 times 21 is 2100. Divide by 140, and that gives us last year's amount, which is 15. And you need to pay attention to that, because if I ate more candy this year than last year, I should have a lower number for last year's. And it's not super low, but it's a little bit lower. An apartment rented for $750 per month in 2005 was rented for $825 in 2006. What was the percent increase in rent? So we have a new and an original. Well, 2005, 2006. Which one's newer? Yeah, we have 2006. And our original is 2005. And we put our percent over 100. So we do not know our percent, but we know our new value was 825 and the original was 750. Be careful here because a lot of times we want to just put the lower number on top rather than paying attention to the question. Make sure you pay attention to it. So when we do this, we get 82,500, divide that by 750, and we get 110 as our answer. Now, this is not our actual answer because we need to know how much did it increase from 100 to 110. 100 plus something gives us 110. 10, it increased 10%. So, as you're doing your assessment, please make sure that you show your work. Please make sure that you write your proportion down. Make sure that you write where you're doing your calculations and what numbers you're getting so I can see where mistakes come in and give you partial credit. And then also make sure that you go back to Canvas and submit a picture of your work after you finish. All right? Good luck, friends.